So the spoilers for Sukuna Kaisen chapter 255 have come out, and as you know in the previous chapter, Miguel made an entry into this fight, and to be honest, this chapter is quite good, meaning Miguel had a good fight with Sukuna. So let's begin. In the beginning of the chapter, we see Miguel with Larue, who was also a member of the old gang from the Geto, entering this fight. Now it's going to be fun. Villains versus villain. So Miguel saved Mia's brother, and Larue has retrieved Kusakabe using his technique. Then we see a flashback in which Yuta discusses with Miguel and Larue. Miguel rejects Yuta's request to fight Sukuna, saying, "Why do I have to fight a monster who has the possibility to win against Gojo?" Even Miguel knows that if he can't defeat Gojo, then he should just forget about fighting Sukuna. But Larue tries to convince Miguel, saying, "I'm just asking you to help us deliver the final blow to the otherworldly being who'll be burned out after fighting Gojo Satoru." Then Yuta and Larue try to convince Miguel by telling him that it's better to fight Sukuna rather than a giant cursed spirit, which could just stomp through a whole country like Godzilla. Perhaps Yuta forgot what Sukuna did to Shibuya. He himself is no less than any giant Godzilla. But Miguel again declines their offer, saying, "Why you Japanese people think that cheerful black people will just survive anything? I mean, they're not wrong." Miguel adds that Gojo should have come to him with his head down in front of him to request him to help. Then Larue and Miguel had a private talk. Miguel says he did everything because he wanted to follow Geto. He also fulfilled his obligation of training Yuta because Gojo saved him, so he doesn't want to be involved with Japan anymore. But Larue speaks, remembering their old days, saying, "We fight with everything we have and tell Geto to take care in heaven." Upon hearing this, Miguel stays silent for a while and then says, first of all, he definitely went to hell. And then Miguel says he has a condition. He will fight Sukuna after Gojo and Yuta lose, and when Sukuna can't use his domain anymore. He also wants Larue to join him in fighting Sukuna because it's better if he has more friends. Now back to present. Miguel and Larue notices that Sukuna can't use domain. His reverse curse technique has been weakened, and his heart isn't healed. Larue uses his curse technique to grab hold of Sukuna and slams him to a wall. Sukuna sends slashes towards them, but Miguel easily ducks, dodges, even jumps in between them. Now after this, Miguel is my favorite. The narrator explains that Larue's curse technique, Heart Catch, can grab the subject. The imaginary hand will restore itself even if it's destroyed, but 1/10 of the damage will be redirected back to Larue. Sukuna thinks Larue's curse technique is no fun, but Miguel's curse technique is highlighting. His curse technique is called Hakuna Lana. Miguel's curse technique helps his body to catch a rhythm to dodge curses and enhance his physical abilities. Seriously, bro's power is breakdancing. Then we see a short flashback of Gojo explaining Miguel's curse technique to Yuta. Gojo says Miguel's curse technique brings out buffs and debuffs of himself and the opponent without using a domain. Gojo adds that it's a pretty useful curse technique, but not really a scary one. Gojo says that Miguel's physical abilities are truly frightening. 99% of Jujutsu sorcerers are Japanese, and they use curse energy to strengthen themselves. Gojo further adds that Miguel, who has a rare skeletal structure and a muscles, becomes a threat compared to a Japanese sorcerer's. Okay, all these explanations seem interesting to watch, but why bother showing when you know it'll be killed off in one chapter? Then Miguel refutes Gojo's statement, saying Gojo is labeling him as that because he's black, and that's just discrimination. There are black people who are non-athletic. Racist Gojo. Miguel says, "I'm not special because I'm black. It's because I'm me." Now Gojo apologizes to him for this, and Miguel forgives him. Back to the fight. Miguel grabs hold of Sukuna's arms and lands a heavy punch. Immediately, Sukuna's back is hit with Choso's supernova. Choso has once again descended to field to confront Sukuna. And then we see our main character re-entering the fight. He directly lands on Sukuna and slams him. Narrator explains that to activate World Slash, Sukuna has to use hand sign named Inmaten, which is also used for Malevolent Shrine. But since Sukuna was left with just one arm after Gojo's final Hollow Purple, he used Binding Vow to send World Slash on Gojo without hand sign. Many had already predicted this, but it's good to get an official confirmation. But after transforming into his OG form, Sukuna now has to use both hand sign Inmaten and incantation to activate World Slash. On top of that, Sukuna also needs to set the direction for the slash with his hands. Sukuna's left arm gets sliced off as he was confronting Yuji. It was Maki who cut off Sukuna's arm, and she does it with a crazed smile on her face. Sukuna is surprised to see Maki back back even after receiving that black flash from him. Now, Yuji proceeds to engage in the fight while thinking that Sukuna can't complete his hand sign because he's left with only 2 right arms, and he can't use reverse curse technique yet either. So they can win the fight now. But as if to pour water on Yuji's hopes, Sukuna instantly hits Larue with Black Flash. Narrator says Gojo regained his reverse curse technique output with his second Black Flash, so the King of Curses now also gained. We truly don't know if Sukuna got back his reverse curse technique. Next chapter will clear that fact. Narrator just used Gojo as an example here. Editors also commented at the end, the black light shines sinisterly, and also no break next week. So brother, Sukuna is dampening everyone's hopes and enjoying himself. Anyway, tell me how you liked the chapter. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. See you with another amazing video until then. Goodbye.